Okay, so you know how we always say we like to get into the nitty-gritty here on the deep dive?
Right to the core of things.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Well, today we're diving into something that I think is really, really relevant to anyone who loves their car. You know,
Keeps their ride looking good.
yeah, keeping their ride looking sharp.
Yeah.
And that is paint protection film, or PPF. So we're really going to get into,
A deep dive.
yeah, a deep dive into PPF. And the reason we're doing this is we've got some really interesting information that came out of Onyx coding about this training program that they just wrapped up.
Just finished up
Yeah.
in Orlando, Florida.
In sunny Orlando, Florida.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do today is kind of unpack what made this training special. There's a lot of buzz around a new product that they were featuring, and we want to get into that. And just generally why this kind of hands-on training is so important in this industry. You know, this is an industry that's constantly evolving. So
Absolutely. Always changing. New products coming out all the time. New techniques.
okay, so first of all, let's set the scene a little bit. We're talking about Orlando, Florida, from February 2nd to the 4th of 2025. Now, this wasn't just, a quick little, lunch and learn or anything. This was an immersive,
A full weekend.
yeah, full-on
A
experience.
deep dive into PPF.
Exactly. And you know what's interesting to me right off the bat is who put this together?
Mm-hmm.
This was a collaboration between Onyx Coding and Pure Luxury Training Academy. And that right there tells me,
That's a good sign.
yeah, that this is,
They mean business.
yeah, they're serious about this training.
Absolutely. It's not just some fly-by-night operation.
And to really drive that point home, the person that was leading this training is someone named Bernice Berry. And let me tell you something, this person knows their stuff. I mean, we're talking over 34 years in the automotive world.
Wow. That's a lot of experience.
That's not just, someone who just got into it. This is a
A veteran.
veteran of the industry.
Yeah, and what I find fascinating is she didn't just start at the top. She really worked her way up. Started as a mobile detailer and tinter.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so she knows the ins and outs of the business from the ground up. Then she moved into vinyl wraps, PPF, and ceramic coatings. That kind of experience, that kind of progression, gives her a perspective that you just don't get from someone who's only ever worked in a classroom or a lab.
Yeah, no, that's a really good point because I think it gives her a real-world understanding of the challenges that people face
Exactly.
when they're actually out there doing the work.
She's been there. She's done that.
And it sounds like she really is passionate about sharing that knowledge with others. I mean, she founded Pure Luxury Training Academy. And it's clear that her goal is to not just teach people the skills,
Right.
but to really elevate the entire industry, to get people thinking about how they can improve their craft.
And scale their businesses.
Exactly. And, her collaborations with big companies like Matico and Mother's Waxes and Polishes over the years really speaks volumes about her reputation.
It's not just about knowing how to apply the film. It's about understanding the business side of things, too. Pricing, marketing, customer service. She's got the whole package.
Yeah, and I think what's really inspiring about her story is, she faced some challenges along the way, but she persevered. And now she's really focused on mentoring the next generation of installers. That human element, knowing that this training was led by someone with that kind of background.
It adds a lot of credibility.
Yeah, it does. It makes it more than just a technical training. It's almost like,
A mentorship.
yeah, exactly. Now, obviously, a big part of this training was centered around a brand new product, and that's Onyx InnoGuard PPF. And they are not shying away from the hype. They're calling this the next evolution in paint protection and a game changer. So,
Two claims.
big claim.
So let's see what they got.
Okay, so they're highlighting superior durability, which, I mean, it's kind of a given, right?
That's what you want from a paint protection film.
Right.
It's got to be durable.
But then they go on to say advanced self-healing properties and exceptional resistance to environmental contaminants. Now, self-healing to me, that sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing technology.
So for our listeners out there who, maybe aren't familiar with this, how would you explain what self-healing PPF actually means for someone's car?
Okay, so think about those little tiny scratches or swirl marks that you get from washing your car or just from everyday driving. With self-healing PPF, those imperfections can actually vanish over time. sometimes with a little heat from the sun or even warm water. It's like magic.
So it's not just protecting the paint, it's
It's
actually,
actively repairing it,
yeah.
keeping it looking its best.
And it's important to point out that the attendees at this training, they didn't just hear about this new product.
Right.
They actually got to work with it. They learned the best practices for applying it.
Hands-on experience is invaluable. You can read all the brochures you want, but actually getting your hands on the product, feeling how it stretches, how it adheres, that's where the real learning
Yeah,
happens.
you can't beat real-world experience.
And having someone like Denise Berry there to guide them through the process, that's priceless.
Okay, so let's get into the actual hands-on training. What did they cover? It sounds like they went through a lot.
They did. They started with the fundamentals surface preparation. I mean, it makes sense, right?
Yeah.
You could have the greatest PPF in the world, but if the surface underneath isn't properly cleaned and prepped, it's not going to stick. It's not going to last.
It's like painting a house, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
You need a good foundation,
You got to prep the surface. They went over the proper cleaning and decontamination techniques.
making sure there's no oils, no contaminants, nothing that's going to interfere with the adhesion.
Okay, so they've got a clean slate now. What's next?
Tools. Knowing what tools to use, how to use them properly, how to maintain them, that's crucial for a professional finish. They covered everything from squeegees to heat guns to cutting tools.
I can imagine there's a lot of specialized equipment involved.
There is. And each tool has its own quirks and nuances.
And then, of course, you get into the actual application of the PPF. And I bet this is where it gets really,
Artsy.
yeah.
It's like a craft.
So what kind of cutting techniques did they cover?
They covered everything. Bolt cutting for large panels, precision trimming around edges and curves. They even got into using pre-cut patterns.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and this is where experience really comes into play. Knowing how to handle the film, how much tension to apply, how to avoid wrinkles and bubbles.
Yeah.
It's a skill that takes time and practice to master.
And then, of course, every car is different, right?
Right, different curves, different angles. It's a three-dimensional puzzle.
So they went through how to apply the PPF to different parts of the car.
They did. Fenders, hoods, bumpers, doors, you name it. They covered it all. Even those really tricky areas with compound curves.
I'm sure there were a lot of aha moments during that part of the training.
I'm sure. And even with the best instruction, there are always going to be mistakes. So they spent time on troubleshooting, identifying and correcting common installation errors.
Right, because you don't want to get to the end of the job and realize you messed something up.
Exactly. Better to catch it early and fix it.
So what about after the film is applied? What's the next step?
Curing. They went over best practices for curing the film and the different finishing methods to ensure a flawless, invisible look. Because at the end of the day, you want the protection to be there, but you don't want it to be noticeable.
You want it to look like it's not even there.
Exactly. Seamless and invisible.
And I think it's smart that they also covered post-installation corrections because things happen.
Right.
Little touch-ups might be needed.
Little imperfections here and there. So they taught the attendees how to deal with those situations. It's all about attention to detail and providing a top-notch customer experience.
Yeah, and I think what really stands out to me about this whole program is the emphasis on hands-on training. They really wanted these attendees to get their hands dirty and learn by doing.
Absolutely. That's the best way to learn. And it's clear that Onyx Coding and Pure Luxury Training Academy are serious about elevating the standards in this industry.
And to that point, it wasn't just about attending the training. There was also an element of professional certification. So Zach, Lewis, and Mohammed, who completed the training, were recognized as certified installers of Onyx PPF.
That certification carries a lot of weight. It's a testament to their skills and knowledge.
It shows that they've met a certain standard, and what's also interesting is that it wasn't just the trainees who were there. There were other industry professionals like Tony Beitencourt and Jamie Collier who also participated.
That's great to see. It fosters a sense of community and collaboration.
Yeah. It creates a space for knowledge sharing, and I think it really highlights the importance of continuous learning in this industry.
You're always learning. There's always something new to discover.
So it seems like this program was about more than just teaching people how to install PPF. There were some broader implications here for the automotive industry as a whole.
Absolutely. This partnership between Onyx Coding and Pure Luxury Training Academy really demonstrates a commitment to raising the bar in the industry.
Yeah. They're investing in the future of PPF application.
By empowering these professionals with the latest skills and knowledge, they're ultimately contributing to a higher quality of service for car owners.
And I think the focus on innovation with products like Vunix InnerGuard is a big part of that. It shows that they're constantly pushing the boundaries of what's possible in terms of protecting our cars.
Technology is constantly advancing. These new films, with enhanced durability and self-healing capabilities, offer a level of protection that wasn't even imaginable a few years ago. And that's great news for car enthusiasts who want to keep their vehicles looking their best for years to come.
And it seems like Onyx Coding is committed to this idea of supporting automotive professionals even beyond this specific training event.
Yes, they're encouraging people to stay tuned for future events, product launches, and training opportunities.
They're in it for the long haul.
Absolutely. And for those of you listening who want to learn more about Onyx Coding and their products, they've made it easy. You can visit their website at www.onyxcoding.com or reach out to them directly at Email Protected.
And on their website, they go into detail about the benefits of using Onyx Coding products.
They do. They highlight things like hydrophobicity, UV protection, scratch resistance. It's a pretty impressive list.
And I noticed they mentioned a 10H coating. For those who aren't familiar with that, what does that actually mean?
So the H scale is a measure of hardness. 10H is as hard as it gets for this type of coating. It means it's incredibly resistant to scratches. So those minor scratches and swirl marks that can dull your car's finish, they're not going to be a problem with a 10H coating.
So that's peace of mind right there.
Exactly. And they also talk about the durability of their coatings. They're designed to last for years with minimal maintenance.
And speaking of maintenance, they also emphasize how easy it is to clean a car that's been treated with Onyx coating.
Right. Because the coating repels dirt and water, it's much easier to keep the car clean. You don't have to wash it as often. And when you do wash it, it's a breeze.
So you're saving time and effort.
Exactly. And it's not just about looks. They also talk about contaminant resistance. Their coatings protect the paint from things like bird droppings, tree sap, industrial fallout, all those nasty things that can damage your car's finish.
So it's a really comprehensive protection package.
It is. They also use high-quality materials. They mention high-grade SiO2 ingredients, which are known for their durability and protective properties.
And I think it's great that they also mention using environmentally safe ingredients because that's something that more and more people are concerned about.
Absolutely. People want to protect their cars, but they also want to protect the environment.
And they're not shy about their accomplishments. They claim to be the world's #1N1 coating product and one of the most advanced providers in the industry.
That's a bold statement.
It is. But they seem to have the credentials to back it up. They've got a global presence with headquarters in Berlin, a logistics office in Germany, and a USA office in Great Neck, New York.
They're a serious player in the industry.
Yeah. And they're not just focused on selling products, they're also committed to building a network of certified installers. You can actually go on their website and find a certified Onyx coating installer near you.
That's great for consumers. It gives them peace of mind knowing that they're dealing with a qualified professional.
So for our listeners today, I think the key takeaways from this deep dive are first, the incredible advancements in PPF technology. We're seeing products like Vunix InnoGuard that offer self-healing properties and a level of protection that was unheard of just a few years ago.
And equally important is the emphasis on skilled installers. Programs like the one in Orlando, led by experts like Benice Berry, are crucial for ensuring that these products are applied correctly and that car owners get the most out of their investment.
It's not just about the product, it's about the people who install it. And I think this deep dive really gives us a glimpse into the future of car care. We're seeing a shift towards longer-lasting protection, easier maintenance, and a greater focus on preserving the value of our vehicles.
It's an exciting time to be a car enthusiast, and I think it makes you wonder what other industries could benefit from this kind of focus on training and innovation. What other areas of our lives could be improved by adopting similar approaches to protection and maintenance?
That's a great question to leave our listeners with. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.
Until next time.
See you then.